We're live. In 3, right now, immediately. Rob, you got your phone together?
Yeah, kind of. Not really, no.
Okay.
But, okay.
All right, everybody.
Did you get the cables? Did you find a red one?
No, but I have a cable. I used the cable I had.
Oh, it's not too bad. I'm checking it.
Okay. I'm at like 0, like -0. So I have truly no whatchamacallit. Hi everybody, good evening. Welcome to episode 88 of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. I'm sorry, that's episode 89.
89.
Of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast.
Bump, bump.
You know, we're still here doing this thing week after week for you.
Yeah.
In full effect. I was trying to think today. I was thinking about a lot of things today. In my ears, I'll talk about what I've been listening to all day. Hi, everybody. I should look up at the people.
Watch party. Live.
So you're going to need your watch party open, and I'm going to need my page open so that we can see what the heezy is going on. I have to apologize, Tanya. We missed like mad of your comments last week.
Mad of your comments. Mad.
In 3, right now, immediately. In my ears. Okay.
What? There we go. Madness.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking nice. I like it. It's looking great. Let me look more 90s.
It looks nice and clear. Nice and clean. You may not be able to tell from where you're sitting, but we're back into the original Multiverse corner. This area is saved in my Light app as the Multiverse corner.
The Multiverse corner.
Yeah. So we're back in the podcast corner. Before where you saw Idris, she was living there. Now where she is right now, she's visiting. So what are you doing?
Just is holding open the curtain.
Oh, okay. So as you can see, we still have like some small logistical issues with relocating her because she's all over the place.
Yes.
Okay, so
Boom.
How was your last week?
Last week was pretty good. First, I'd like to introduce the new arm. For the last three episodes, I've been this thing has been touching my chest and falling down.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the new arm, which is out of the way. But
I feel like you even sound different on that new arm.
I do sound. It came with its own mic cable.
Yeah.
It's called Frameworks, and by no way, shape, or form are they paying me to let
to
you know
say who they are.
But it is pretty good. I like the way
it's pro.
It is.
It's very pro style.
Pro style.
Yeah. One day I will also have a new arm, but for now my arm is perfectly fine.
Yes.
So, how was your last week other than your new arm?
Last week was okay.
Mm-hmm.
We did a lot of different things last week. There was a photo shoot that I was a part of.
Oh, yes.
You'll see that. I'm not going to reveal anything on the show.
No, but if you go to Nigel the MC...
You won't see it there either.
No, but you'll see the photos you were choosing. Or did you only put it on your story?
I didn't put on anything.
I thought on Nigel the MC you asked the people to vote for something.
Oh, yes. I had asked on Nigel the MC. If you go on my Instagram, on my IG, you'll see that I was trying to select who I would be.
Mm-hmm.
And people voted. And because of your votes, I chose the most voted for. And so you'll see great photographs. The gentleman who did it, he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
His name is AJ. Shout out to AJ.
Mm-hmm.
And he had us out there. There was 5 of us. and we had a photo shoot, so it was pretty good. Really, really great photos. So
Yeah.
and it's all because of Black History Month, Black History Year that we are taking.
Mm-hmm.
So because of Black History Year, everybody's basically in there. So we try to represent different people, historic people in time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was great. It was great. It was rated Aphrodisiac Shop. It was late. The greatest part about that was after I could not find my keys for like an hour. So
Oh, boy.
after cleaning up and everybody left, I was still here for an hour looking for my keys. Then I finally found my keys, and when I found my keys, one of the models that was there, his car tires got slashed.
With a knife?
Yeah, that's what I am hearing. That it was a slashing of the tires.
Oh my gracious
Where
goodness.
he was parked, they probably didn't like it, so they
Uh-oh.
slashed his tire. So
Where
his
was
tires was dead
Oh my
flat,
gosh. In our neighborhood.
which
at that.
ended
I
up.
feel ashamed.
I think it was around the corner, to be honest. Not quite this neighborhood,
Okay, fine.
but yeah, but yeah. Then he came around. I pumped up his tire a little bit to get him where he's going, and I don't think he made it very far before it went flat again. And then he ended up paying close to $600 for
He had it towed?
new tires.
Yikes.
Because they were like, well, you might as well get new
Yes,
tires
yes.
anyway, dirt butt.
Did his car insurance cover that though?
His car insurance could have if he filed under vandalism, but I don't think he did.
All right. Well,
But I don't know.
just so that you know, your car insurance should cover 4 slash tires, but they will not cover 3.
There you go. So if you get 3 of your tires slashed, just slash
the last one before you report it. And if you're out there slashing tires, maximum just slash 3.
There you go.
We just want to give
if you're
advice.
a tire slasher,
3's good.
3's good.
You don't have to go more than that.
So they won't cover 4, but they'll cover 3?
No, they will cover 4. So if you get 4 tires slashed, they will cover it. But if you only get 3 slashed, then they won't cover it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so just do the whole dilly.
Yep.
Yeah. While you're out there slashing. So
To the slashies and the slashers.
To the slashies.
We're equal opportunity over here.
You want to get your slash out, and we don't want to have to pay for new tires because it's expensive. So
We're just giving out advice here.
advice for
Unsolicited advice.
for all parties involved.
Okay.
So that happened, and that was great. Did we have any interviews? Yeah, you had an interview.
Yeah, I did a really cool interview with Ladies Corner Media, who had also done an interview with the Big G Davis. They put him in their magazine. Oh, shucks.
Oh, yeah.
I have to email some pictures to them as well. I forgot. So we did a YouTube live.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they just asked me questions and I just talked. I was also on Radioactive yesterday, talking about Harriet Tremendous Day and the upcoming We Lit.
We Lit.
So We Lit is going to be March 6th. I'm terribly excited for it. A lot of my favorite authors, and the author lineup this year is very cool.
Stellar.
Yeah, last year was also excellent. A lot of our last year people, some of them will not be returning this year, but we just keep trying and keep going forward and grow as we can.
Yeah. Last year, being our first year, was pretty good. It was pretty awesome. I thought we did it in the middle of a blizzard. So when we got in there was a huge snow dump the day that we did it.
Yeah, it was so funny because they were like winter storming. We're like, what? We're in Edmonton, and then by like 4 o'clock, it was like whiteouts. Like, oh.
And
We
still had quite a few people.
It was pre-COVID, like not pre, but it was on the outer edges of COVID. I think we shut down like 2 weeks later.
Yeah, it was definitely.
It was a tough space, but
Yeah.
we were there. We had fun. I definitely enjoyed it. I did see a lot of potential with what we started with last year, and then this year we definitely have a little bit more capital to work with and all that stuff. So I'm looking forward to it. Our guests keynote speakers this year are Sun Masho. He teaches the African. He's the head of African language, or I don't think that's what it is. But he teaches at Harvard University, and he calls himself Gullah Teacher. So he is from the Gullah Geechee traditions of South Carolina and talks a lot about his culture. If you have the new Melanistic magazine, or if you have any access online whatsoever, you can go onto melanisticmagazine.com and flip through there and see the article that he wrote for us called Our Language is Not Broken, talking about the way that we speak in many parts of the Caribbean and Africa in terms of our Creole and really our language. So he's going to be talking about developing your authentic voice.
Boom.
And then not right after that, but after that we have Dr. Charmaine Nelson, who I am a super huge fan of. You can check her out at blackcanadianstudies.ca. She is pretty much a historian that has brought to surface and concentrates on the 2 centuries of Canada's slavery past, or slavery history, pretty much.
Yeah.
So she'll be there talking about what it's like digging into archives and digging up historical information. And then we have the honorable award-winning Desmond Cole, who will be appearing to discuss how to be a writer. Like, what do you do every day? Like, how do you go about it? And he's obviously a journalist, and his new award-winning novel, The Skin We're In, by Penguin, is definitely also fiction. No, non-fiction. So.
Okay.
Yeah, those are our main authors. Next week, I'm probably going to discuss with you the other guests that will be there and will be coming in. So, yeah, that's it. I'm very, really, really excited. And then also, it will also be translated. So we are working on having deaf translators, ASL translators, available, Black ones, to translate the event. So that is where we are. That is a lot. Also, really exciting stuff that happened last week that we haven't announced because we're still working on it. But Token Naturals was so gracious to gift a significant parcel of land for us to work out a community garden. So if you can hear this and you love gardening and you love the idea of community garden, definitely get into contact with us. We're going to be looking for volunteers and all that stuff. So that last week was definitely a lot, but very cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Tanya says that Desmond Cole is a Red Deer native.
He is from Red Deer, yep.
From Red Deer, says
and
Alberta Boa.
Yeah, his parents are Sierra Leonean, and he
Mm.
moved to Oshawa when he was 8 years old.
Nice.
So, yes, the entire thing were
fantastic.
Yes.
So,
you want to move on to the scroll?
We can move from here to the scroll.
I think it's a good spot.
I was remembering a couple of things, but they were from the Sunday with the reading. We already talked about it.
We did.
So, definitely good. We're on.
There's one more thing.
What's that?
Look at my new teeth, everybody.
Oh, she got new teeth, people.
You can't tell, but if you go back to some of the other videos, you can. Hi, look at me with my new smile. Yeah, I've been talking for months about this bridge getting put in, so it's done. It's finally in. I have one more large dental I guess, tree to cut down. Like, it's a big one. But not as big as everything I've done so far. So, once again, shout out to Donsdale Dental.
Donsdale Dental.
Yeah. Any of the two dentists there. They're husband and wife. And then, of course, I know both of them.
So,
anyway, yeah.
Great teeth job. Mouth work you got done. Super duper smile. Got
Thanks.
better.
I do what I can.
There you go.
All right.
So, on to the
scroll.
So, on the scroll.
That was good.
That's on that unison tip.
Mm-hmm.
On the scroll, we have a few topics at hand that we'd like to discuss.
All right. Today you're driving the scroll. I'm just gonna react. I think I don't remember anything.
You reacted? Okay. So Australia versus Facebook. So a lot of people don't know this, but Australia has done most of their news via
me
Facebook.
Reacting. What?
Via
Their actual news, like
their actual news, like they don't use, especially since COVID.
Okay.
They've sent all the newscasters home and have done everything for their news
through Facebook,
via social media.
Okay.
And
wow.
Facebook.
And
primary.
Okay. Wow.
So being into a situation where they're doing this, and it's one of those things that they're doing something completely different, the journalists that normally would get paid have not been getting paid to do the work on Facebook.
Oh no.
Especially if whatever they're reporting on gets tons of likes, tons of views, and stuff like that.
Wow.
They haven't. So they said to Facebook, hey, Facebook, we think because we're bringing this much people to this kind of topic that you should start paying, like our journalists and stuff. And Facebook was like, no.
No, that's not how Facebook works.
Right. Unlike YouTube and even Instagram, I think.
But here's what you can do.
I think Instagram and Facebook are about the same now.
Same guy. So, and WhatsApp, incidentally. So here's what you're allowed to do. I think they have to break up soon, though. I believe that's what I heard. But here's the thing. If you get a certain amount of viewers, like if we had like 300 people on right now, we could monetize this broadcast.
Yeah.
So why doesn't Australia just get their numbers up and then just monetize the broadcast?
But the problem is in Australia, they have been getting their numbers up. If you look at some of their broadcasts that they have well over 3,000, 4,000, more than that. Because it's the entire country.
But they don't monetize in Australia. Facebook doesn't monetize in Australia. Oh,
so they were like,
so if you're in Australia, you can't benefit from that monetization system. Which, not that I fully understand, but being in Canada, as you guys may understand, we are American. Like we're like over
closer
here. Yeah, but there's a lot of things though that we do not get over here.
Yeah, and that is solely because it is legislated and governed by the section of the globe where you're at. And so these things, which I've learned even recently, is brokered. And sometimes these things that are brokered into from one to the next, from one region to the next, allows you to get more views and more likes than to spread it across the globe. It also allows you to direct to a certain audience that will be familiar with certain things. So for instance, if we have a lot of, let's say, what's that show? Corner Gas.
Okay.
So if we have a lot of Corner Gas fans, a lot of that humor may not be felt in places like, let's say, Australia.
Anywhere else.
Right? So
anywhere else but Canada.
They're not going to tune in, and they're not going to find some of our quips and our dry humor really funny.
Okay.
Whereas we find it hilarious, right?
Right.
So to monetize on that, they kind of keep it to a certain region.
Okay.
Now, this thing with Australia, let's go back to that. So Australia says to Facebook, yo, we need you to pay up. And Facebook said, no. So, because Facebook said no,
Australia's like, okay, we're going to ban you from Facebook, from Australia?
No. So what Australia does is Australia goes in, and Australia legislates this now. So in its legislation, it says the social media platforms that are gaining and benefiting must pay the source of that, especially if it's a legit source.
Oh, wow.
So Facebook was like,
okay, so now
still no.
We're going to
And
pull out of Australia.
And didn't pull out of Australia because it still has good ties in Australia.
Yeah.
It blocked all the news media outlets from posting videos on Facebook.
Wow.
And so what they did then was the media outlets were like, oh, this is what you're going to do? Oh. And so they doubled down on it, and they went and created their own app, then went on Facebook and said, hey, are you missing your news? Just come over here. And they went,
throw some shrimp on the barbie and let's watch some kangas.
Yeah.
And wallas.
And then that's it. And so everybody then jumped on this app. Well, guess what? For you stock people out there that like stock, that stock went up 300%.
Wow.
As everybody did that. And that was just last week.
Oh, wow.
So, because it went up 300%, now everybody's doing this
news app situation.
This news app situation in Australia,
Okay.
which caused Canada to look at this business model and say, yeah, that's what we want. So Canada's like, we're going to do this now. So they're looking at Australia's plan and they're going to duplicate it. How does that affect us? Well, it affects the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. Because if we go with the new legislation and do the stuff that they say, then we'd be forced to get paid for content that we produce.
Nice.
Not just by the amount of likes you get or amount of views, but for every legitimate.
Because you're producing content.
Because we'd be a source, a valid source.
Okay.
So.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
They definitely.
Tina's clapping her hands.
Mm-hmm.
She said, smile.
What because of the smile?
Because
of my smile?
Oh, she was telling you to smile. There you go.
I got them.
There you go. There you go. So, are you good with that? We can go to the next one.
That is a little bit confusing to me. I'm not even gonna lie, but exciting.
So, from what we know so far, is that Australia now legislated this. They can go ahead and get paid, but Facebook blocked them, and Canada looked at that and was like, "We want to get paid."
This is actually a good idea. I like it. Canada is actually pretty decent, being a socialist country and all, about supporting their artists more than more capitalist countries that are nearby.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like artistic grants and media grants and stuff that the government gives out.
There are, and then there are a lot of private organizations that also support
media, independent media.
Independent media.
Mm-hmm. All right. What's your next thing?
Next thing is Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie has a new girlfriend.
Yeah.
She's 30 years old. He's 71.
Get that money. Take that money. Ain't no way you could take that from me.
Is it the buddy? Oh, we're talking about the girl. Yes. Get that buddy.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, Lionel Richie, for 70 years old, does not look bad. So do not get it twisted. Like
he doesn't look bad.
He doesn't. And he has hits on hits, and he makes money on money on money. Like, currently makes money on money on money. Because of his hits on hits. And not only his own hits, but hits that he's written for other people. Like, the amount of publishing and all that stuff that he has is really, like, is pretty good. So, I do not blame her.
It's a merry-go-round.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Look what I just did.
What did you do?
This. Wow.
Does that actually do that live?
Yes.
Okay. Well, there you go, people.
Well, you guys, we just learned something new. Anyway,
So yeah, Viagra stocks are holding steady. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Are you watching the live? Because I'm watching the watch party.
I can't see it because of the umbrella.
No, you have the live.
Ella,
You have the live.
I'm watching it live.
All right. You gotta let us. You gotta let us know.
Ronald said hi. Christine, I put it on the screen. She thinks corner gas is really funny.
Right.
I did watch it in the mornings once for a little while.
It was different for me because Corner Gas went animated.
Oh, corner gas is now an animated series.
Yeah. So it was
even
like,
currently.
Okay. All right. Voice actors. I get it. So.
I'm more of a Trailer Park Boys fan myself.
And that's another Canadian classic.
Yes.
So is Red Green and other ones.
Yeah.
So,
also Reboot, which is came up this last week.
Reboot definitely came up this week.
Yeah.
Everybody, I don't know if you remember the
animated.
animated.
We were remembering it.
With Dot Matrix and Bob, the great antivirus, and then there was Megabyte,
mm-hmm.
and Hexadecimal,
mm-hmm.
and Enzo,
mm-hmm.
and the dog. So,
what was the dog's name?
I can't remember. So, yeah, those are Canadian classics. The Lionel Richie having that girlfriend
20-year-old
who's 30.
Oh, 30. Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's only 41 years difference.
Yeah, but I think about a 30-year-old like a person.
I'm 42.
I think of 20-year-olds like, what are you doing?
When you look at it like I'm 42 and there's a baby.
Oh, and now you guys are going to date in 30 years.
In 30 years, I'm going to date the baby. Yuck. So gross. Nope, I'm all right. But
they're actually the same distance as me and my dad.
Yep. So it's like your dad dating one of your friends. So.
Oh, so gross. Kim's Convenience.
Yeah, Kim's Convenience
is hilarious, actually.
It's so hilarious.
It's so funny.
So that actually, we could probably go over that in the screen of things we were going to watch and stuff like that.
Yeah, I could throw that up. We're almost done Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
So I think Kim's Convenience.
Nine-Nine?
Yes.
So, yeah, we have that. Also, people, just so you know, I just want to give this word, and it could be part of the word or not.
The word kind of comes up at any part of the show at this point.
If you're looking for love, sometimes you might have to wait 42 years to get the love you're looking for. So never give up is what Lionel Richie's trying to tell you. It's just never give up.
He waited 70 years, not 42.
Your true love may not be born yet.
It may not.
And that, for those of you still single out in the world.
I mean, what does Lionel Richie need from a woman? He needs somebody who's nice, who's good looking, who knows how to act in public.
I feel like he needs companionship. At 71, well, look at my mom. My mom is in her 70s, and she, it can get lonely being by yourself in the apartment the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You just want somebody to talk to and chill out and help you put on your
socks.
No,
it feels like help you put on your socks. It feels like there's going to be certain things that are just so gaping in terms of their relationship. Like, she wants to go out and she wants to hang out. She wants to go with her friends. Like, is he going, or is he like, okay, babe, see you when you get home?
Yo, he's definitely going because he's Lionel Richie.
All night long. All night. All night. Now we know that about Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
There's medication for that.
So,
all right, what else?
Tadia's already mentioned it. So, Tekashi 69, for those of you who know the world famous snitch, went to jail, got out early, and is currently in the witness protection.
He's the actual worst.
He has come back out, and he's letting people know, if you leave me alone, I don't have to come for you. And don't come for me unless I call you.
And then he went for Meek Mill. He went, apparently, him and Meek Mill now.
No. Well, I don't know. Did
Yeah.
Meek Mill say something? No?
Tekashi and Meek Mill are beefing for some reason.
Well, you know, Meek. The funny thing about Tekashi, the funny thing about Meek Mill is Meek Mill's set out some new music lately, and this new music includes Tekashi 6ix9ine, and it also includes Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Tekashi 6ix9ine has expressed his evident annoyance with the lyrics that are in there, and he's thinking of coming back. He's like, every time I come back, though, it's a problem, and they don't stop until I come back, and then when I come back, it's a problem.
Well, apparently in Miami, they came close to fighting. They almost had a physical altercation just this last week.
That's what he took to social media to let everybody know. Listen,
every time I try to come, no. I'm surprised he's not murdered yet, but
no, it is one of those things, right? I've been watching. For those of you who don't know, and it's coming up in the screen, I've been watching The Wire.
Ah, we got him! Got him!
Let me tell you something.
They're all about Baltimore. If you can stay in the first episode or the first season, you're good.
What it just said is what we should do is lay low for a while. That's all I'm saying is lay low for a while. And then, then we can get them, So, when things pop off and cool down, then we smoke. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what's happening with Tekashi. I think Tekashi is also on that, that everybody's going to call a truce, and then we'll see what happens. But Meek Mills went and talked about Kobe Bryant, and the line he states is he's going to go down with his chopper like Kobe.
Whoop.
Right?
Ooh, too soon, Meek.
And Kobe's wife said, "Dear Meek Mills, I was not impressed." She wrote him a letter,
tasteless,
and it actually is almost word for word. "Dear Meek Mills, I was not impressed by blah 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 blah. Your line and thing, blah blah blah." And he apologized on social media, to her privately and in public, for the line, And I think he removed it from whatever he was doing and retracted back the thing because he realized it was a little distasteful, even though those hot lyrics, those hot fire lyrics are the ones that are controversial normally. Just ask Kanye and Taylor Swift, right?
Speaking of, did we ever talk about Kanye maybe possibly like rumoring to be having a relationship with that guy Jeffree Star?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, but forget about that because that's not really what we're talking about.
Jeffree Star has been talking about Kanye.
So after not snitching for 7 years in a row, Bobby Shmurda is finally out of jail, as I call it. Yeah. Jail.
Bobby's back. Bobby Shmurda.
Yeah, he looked happy he was out there.
Let me tell you, he ain't no Tekashi. Let me tell you that.
I felt a ways because he definitely they signed him and then they were like, oh, ooh, and then they just left him in there. So I think it was everybody's expectation that the record company would have done something to help him get out.
I'm pretty sure they paid for his entire lawyer's fees.
In the end?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know that.
That's what I heard is that his lawyer's fees were covered, his family was covered, but he had to do the time for the thing, right? So they kind of left him in
What did they get him for anyway? Conspiracy or something?
Conspiracy to commit murder.
Nah.
Yeah. Ba-da-ba-da.
Wah, wah, wah. Hey, Darren Hall.
Darren Hall's in the house. What's up, homie?
Yes, Darren. Bobby's home.
Bobby's home. Let's see what we got here.
Did we ever talk about how Bobby Womack...
Tavia said that the girl's going to rub his hips for him at nighttime.
That's something good.
And sort the
meds. Lionel Richie.
She's 30, so she can put the blues with the blues, the reds with the reds. And make sure that Monday, Tuesday, I need 2 blues and a red.
Sort out his medication. Is it MTW FSSS container?
You gave me 2 blues, 3 blues and a red. I need 2 blues and a red on Monday. Hello? Is it me you're looking for?
Where's my MTW FSS container?
Is it?
I'm done. I'm done. I'm over it. What else you got?
I think we finished making fun of this couple. I'm sorry. Yeah, Tanya said he colorblind by now. You know he colorblind by now.
Listen, I'm not going to say any names, but I have also dated someone outside of my age range. And there are things that come up that is just a mismatch. And guess what? We were not 40, nor 30, nor even 20, nor even 15 years apart. But still, a generation, I guess, apart, like an easy 10 years, plus 10 years. Yeah. It was a lot. So there were certain situations where even the way we use words are different. Like, can you imagine her language? He's probably like, you always on that doohickey phone, majig.
The funny thing about language, even saying language, and we get hung up on grammar a lot, especially in this group that we're in called the Black Multiverse Theory.
Not me particularly. I always be jumping in and being like,
what other people do, there, and there, yeah. Your, and your, yeah. Stuff like that. It kind of gets hung up. But the way how we are moving, if we jump into an apocalyptic society and we're going, and all the TV shows I've watched, they form their own type of language. Even when we're watching The Expanse, right. The Belters have their own way of talking.
They do.
Which is separate from everybody else.
They do.
So it is actually pretty funny to look at this, and she's talking stuff like, IRL and BRB, and he's like, what? Why can't you just say be right like, back?
Oh, LOL, Lionel.
LOL? Why didn't you just laugh out loud? So yeah, it's there's gonna be differences, but you know what, love?
Mm-hmm. You can't eat it.
Yeah, it's love.
And you know what they say, you can't eat love. Let's move on.
Next. So, last but not least,
that's one of my favorite old folks wisdom that I've gotten over the years.
You can't eat love.
You cannot eat love.
There you go.
Yep.
It's unedible.
It's inedible. It doesn't fill your belly.
She's like, it's dope. Anyway, so last but not least, Scott's the major production company. They make soaps and they make tape and they make a bunch of stuff. No, they don't make tape.
Do they make like lawn care?
They make
Scott's.
Scott's makes lawn care?
Yeah, don't they do lawn care stuff?
I thought they did detergent stuff.
Scott's paper towel.
Paper towel, yeah. We're in the middle.
They're off-brand, whatever they make.
So
off-brand, Scott's.
Scott's made a detergent that smells like grass. It's called Fresh Cut Grass.
They do lawns. That Scott's is a lawn company, I'm telling you.
Sure.
Now that you're saying that, it makes even more sense.
But it's a detergent. So
for you, it smells like allergies.
It smells like death. I can't breathe. What is that? That's what it smells like.
Get the grass stains out. Put the grass smell
anaphylaxis is what it smells like.
Scott's Turf Builder. Thank you, Greg. Yes, Scott's, they do lawn stuff.
Scott's made a detergent called Fresh Cut Grass, which is the worst of the grasses.
Darren asking the questions. He said, who wants that?
I don't know, but I think it starts with a W and the last word ends with a P.
It has to be people who don't see or smell grass on a regular basis.
It has to be the people who...
It
doesn't have to be those people.
What are these people's obsession with grass?
I'm sorry, but
why do they like
I want to say it, but I cannot say it. I'm having trouble with this one.
What is their obsession with grass? I don't get it.
It is a certain group of people that may or may not be on this podcast, is what I'm saying.
Okay, fine. No, it's not weed. There's no weed laundry detergent, Greg. Greg is like, what kind of grass? No, Greg. That's like the other day we're planning.
Ganja.
We're planning the community garden. So Tanya's like, oh, there has to be a herb section. That's my Tanya.
Yes, it should be a section.
So Tanya tell me so I'm like, yeah, we could totally put the weed by the tomatoes. And Tanya's like, are you talking about herb? No, I mean like basil. I was like, right, cooking herbs. Yeah,
Cooking herbs.
So anyway, so there has to be a section for every different vegetable. She went ahead and told me my fool.
Tanya said herb section. Yes. She goes, I am dead. She says yes. And that's the funny thing about this. I was doing a job. I got to tell this story. I was doing this job, and this guy was working inside the house, and the house had like a little funky smell because it had mice, and they had gotten rid of the mice. So he felt that by fixing the furnace, he could solve the mice smell problem by sorting it. So he went outside and he cut off a piece of pine tree and put it into all the vents so that you could smell the pine throughout the house. That guy is the guy they made this for. Tanya said it smelled like her son when he come from school.
You smell like outside, go to bed.
You smell fresh. You're smelling fresh. What are you doing? All you outside rolling in the grass? You're smelling fresh. Go take a bath.
Whoever had to go and shower again because your back wasn't wet? Raise your hands if you had to go back and bed because look, your back isn't even.
Your back isn't even wet. Go back and bed. Go back and bed.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
All right.
Your foot looking dry. You see your bath? So yes. Anyways, we are punchy. So
yes, that's happening.
So we that is the end of the scroll. Now we're on to the screen.
Yep.
Screen this week has been absolute amazing with the different shows. I jumped on to The Wire after getting off of City on the Hill and finishing that.
Which I think is the same director, P.S. I didn't tell you that.
After watching City on the Hill,
yeah,
we jumped into The Wire, and I watched
season
many hilarious characters come together.
It's an ensemble cast, so every character there's like. Yeah, there's McNulty, but really every character is a main character.
I don't even find McNulty the hero of the story.
No.
For me,
a guy.
For me, the hero of the story is actually either going to be, if I were to pick a hero, it would be D'Angelo.
Okay.
Right? Because I see him just as much as I see McNulty.
Okay.
Or maybe McNulty. Right? Those are the two main characters for me in The Wire.
Okay.
So D'Angelo is showing you a guy, and this is how Hollywood has turned from having like a really good guy that you can be like, that's a good guy. Mm-hmm. He's the good guy. Mm-hmm. No matter what he does, he's the good guy, right? So they've turned so that you can relate. So I relate to D'Angelo being in a situation, growing up in a place that kind of funnels you to be on the block in the pit. And so he may not have had a choice to be in the pit, but now that he's in the pit, he's getting that money. They've got him in a structure. They've got him in a environment where there are rules. You cannot use cell phones. You can't do this. And if you follow those rules and you are with the family and you're die hard for your family, you're going to end up being.
And he's kind of like naturally seems like a good guy. Like he's like a bit softer. It's funny. I'm like the whole time you're talking, I'm like, who the fuck is D'Angelo? So D, you're talking about D. But the thing is, no. I agree with Greg
What's Greg say?
Greg said Omar is a true bad man. Omar is the man. But you haven't even seen Omar's full flex yet.
That's the thing about
Nigel
Omar.
Just met Omar a few episodes.
Kind of. Omar just tried to take what's his name's life in the last episode that I saw.
Which one?
And then he got shot in the shoulder.
Whose life?
Avon Barksdale.
Oh, okay. And he got shot in the shoulder.
He got shot in the shoulder. So he went after him, and he had a plan. And if he wasn't fooling around, he could have got this guy. But I felt like he was fooling around. He stayed there, like far away from him, called him, and then when he went to go check the payphone, he came around the side to come and get him. Now, because he didn't get him, it's going to be an issue.
Christine said she's so excited to be watching it vicariously through us. They can't watch it in their house because there are too many children.
Yes, and honestly, that has been the story of my life for a long time. I had to wait till the children got older, and then you put them to bed, and then you're good to go. So I have watched The Wire. I've been watching The Wire on my time off, and met many people that I didn't like at the beginning, and then now are like, oh, okay, maybe he's not that bad. Like the guy who shot his bullet through the wall and then hit that kid and blinded the kid. I was like, this guy is the worst. But then when he started to like become useful, and actually my favorite character is the detective, who's the quiet detective who actually does the detective work.
He's the Maxie Jones of The Office.
He makes everybody better.
Yeah,
it's great. He makes everybody good at police work.
And he's quietly like, okay, what do you think about that? Okay, we should do that. He's a team. I think like to strive to be like him. Like he's a team player, but he's also like has his own initiative. I don't know. I like him.
I feel like I watched him, and what he does is he sits there, doesn't say a word, but observes. And he observes first. A lot of police now, here in Edmonton and all the way around and everywhere else, they do not observe first. They go in hot and heavy, and then people end up getting hurt, and then we end up talking about we hate the police and stuff like that. But if they were more like him, you'd be able to assess the situation and analyze where you could be the most useful. So when he found out a picture of Avon's Barksdale, they sent 2 guys to go find him. They came back with a white guy, a picture of an old white guy. And they're like, this is not the guy. He went out for like maybe an hour, came back with a whole poster with the guy's face on it. Yeah. And then they were able to match that guy in the episode that I was looking at. They were able to match that face with the actual guy and see him for the first time. So all of those police were able to see this guy for the first time in that episode. And then there was also the fact that he made the other guy useful, the one who shot through the wall.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. And he's made his own lieutenant useful by telling him to step up his game. Yeah. He's made McNulty useful. Yeah. He's made everybody useful. Even the 2 guys who are like Beavis and Butthead on this whole thing.
Even the black guy who was also the priest in The Walking Dead, and he also plays some kind of dick in some other show that we watched recently. I don't remember what it was, but
he was a priest in that show too.
Oh, that's House on the Hill or City on the Hill.
City on the Hill. He was a priest.
Yeah, he was in that one too. So he's definitely a character actor. But even he gets better as a detective.
He gets way better. Right now, they're working on a level where they've come together and become better police officers. Yeah. And I'm liking it. I'm loving every second of that guy's character. Yeah. That guy, all he did was he took his regular car when they were looking for it, went into the hood, and just walked in like he owned the place. He didn't come with his badge. He didn't go. He walked into this boxing ring and said,
he probably knew them. Because he's like, he's kind of a neighborhood guy, it seems like. Yeah. Like, he's not in the hood, but he's like, knows these people.
And for me, he is the other hero that I was thinking of.
Yeah. Greg said, what did you think of the AWWF scene? One of the best bits of writing, but I don't know what he's talking about.
AWWF scene. I don't know which one.
Me neither. Okay.
Oh, yes,
one?
Greg. That's when I think he's talking about, and let me know if I'm correct. It's when McNulty and his partner Bunk go back to the scene of the crime to the girl, and they track back where the bullet came from, where it was shot.
Yeah.
They track back the centimeters and the inches from where it was shot from. Right. And every time they find a new thing, they say F.
Oh.
And they say that.
Oh, yeah.
They say it every single time. That was a really good scene. Yeah, that was good. The whole thing has like different parts to it. So definitely, I'm definitely happy that everybody convinced me to watch this show.
Yeah, it's a good
starting with Nilo, she's the one who originally was like, "You got to see The Wire."
It's one of my favorite shows.
And then when everybody got on me last week, I was like, "Fine, I'll watch it." And peer pressure's on. You're gonna.
That's how we do things around here.
It's like
around here.
I was like, ooh, So I finally got to watch it. Really good show. Really good writing. The last thing, favorite scene, and it keeps coming back and I keep forgetting it, is the scene when, Greg, you probably know this one, where they're trying to push the desk into the door and the other side, they're trying to push it out. And he sits there and watches them and says nothing the entire time. While two guys try to push it in, three guys are trying to push it out, and they're pushing, and they're like, "Man, it's stuck. I can't even get it." And it is the funniest scene.
The funniest scene is that, the funniest part of the scene to me is them realizing this happens. He's like, "Wait a minute, out? Like, you're trying to get it out?"
Right at the end of that
like,
scene.
And everybody walks away.
They leave it.
What?
They
leave it in the doorway.
Yeah.
I even like when there's a lot about the writing that's really good, like in terms of like when they first move into that office and there's like clinking going on and they're like trying to have a conversation that they're banging and they're like keep interrupting them, and then the guy's like, is this whatever goes in there. You can see people crossing on the streets because they're obviously in the basement of the precinct.
Yeah
Really good show.
Really good show, The Wire. Really,
you haven't even gotten to the good parts yet.
No, I haven't gotten to what everybody says is the good parts. But
if you like it already, then we're good.
As I continue to go through, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Shout out to Darren Jordan.
Shout out to DJ.
I think next Friday, or is it this Friday? Is 5 Artists, One Love retrospective.
Yes.
On Friday on the internets.
Right.
So tune into that. I believe it's 5artistsonelove.com. That'll be Friday on Screens Everywhere. On Saturday on Screens Everywhere is the Gospel Night concert.
Gospel Night back in effect.
Which will also be on the internets. You'll go to the NBCC Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, you'll go to NBCC Edmonton Facebook page, and you can go on YouTube as well. It is free. This is probably one of the only times it will be free, so jump on that, get on there. I'll be hosting the show. Shout out to some of my friends from Chosen Generation. Shalice Simpson just did a whole video.
A cover. It was awesome.
Which was really good. She did a cover.
She's so talented.
And then she did also a little bio of herself, of little cool things about her and her in the group.
Yeah.
So check that out. Chosen Generation. That's CHO number 5 EN. So instead of an S, it's the number 5 EN, and then Generation. So check them out.
Yep.
Also, we have the lovely from Bliss band Ruva. Ruva's in there. Ruva's doing her thing. and she'll be singing as well. Plus, new season of praise will be in there, and much, much more. So if you are interested to see what is going on, and you want to see what it's like at a black church, then definitely tune in.
Christine says she just signed up.
Nice. Sign up. I did put the link in on my Facebook, and I'm going to throw it up on Instagram. I apologize to the people who got the original flyer. So those of you who saw the original flyer says Friday. This is happening. Is not Friday. Is Saturday. This is happening.
Yeah.
This Saturday coming on the 27th.
Saturday the 27th.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So big weekend. 5 artists, 1 love.
Boom.
On Friday, and then on Saturday, gospel concert. Yeah. 5 artists, 1 love is 7 p.m. on Friday. Gospel concert is what time on Saturday?
7 p.m. on Saturday.
Also 7 p.m. on Saturday.
Good to remember.
I will see you guys. They'll be in front of the computer.
We're gonna make this a night to remember.
I know that one.
Dun-dun.
All right.
Dun-dun.
What's in your ears?
Wait. I also watched this show called The Destroyer.
Okay.
The Destroyer is with she looks like death right now. But
Kidman?
Nicole Kidman.
Did you really watch that?
I went back and then watched it.
How was it?
It was terrible, but the reason why she looked like death was because she was actually dying at that time. So
in this movie show.
So they made sure that she looked like that. So
dying.
they showed her. They did some great stuff. I don't know if that was makeup or computer graphics, but they brought her as a younger version of herself. Like maybe in her 20s, and then brought her
older
to where she is now.
Okay. So good job with the special effects and makeups team on that.
Man, it is good.
Rough. Okay, Bet. What you got in your ears?
In my ears. Oh, Sister Grace, good to see you. Don't forget, Sister Grace, since you have tuned in, and all the people from church, Gospel Night is this weekend. It is this Saturday, online only. It is not in an actual physical place. No. It is online only for COVID, to protect everyone and everyone around. So that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. One more thing for the scroll. So all the way, I'm rewinding to the scroll recap.
Whoa.
This week, there was a pastor who, for weeks and weeks and weeks, has been having service of over 400 people at times in his congregation. After getting a ticket for over $1,000, he continued to have church, stating that AHS is not his God. Okay. And so because he did that and disobeyed the rules, the police came in and they had their last service, which was not this Sunday but the Sunday before that, where they had only members, because he was saying that they have a snitch in the midst. the spirit of Tekashi was in the church. Yes. So then all of a sudden, because they had a snitch, he said members only. So they had 2 people there. If you're a visitor, they're going to turn you away.
New addition.
And they only have members coming in. So what ended up happening was the police came and arrested him. And when he went to court, they said, all right, we're going to allow you to have bail. No problem. You can get out. All you have to do is pay these fines and start adhering to the COVID restrictions. And he said, I'm not doing it.
I don't think so.
That's not me. That's not biblical.
He was like,
it's not God. So they said, all right, well, you could preach like Paul at the remand.
Hey!
So they put him in the remand, and his congregation, which I happened to be driving by there to go over to see my friends at the Jana building. And when I went over there, well, there was nobody there at the Jana building, but when I passed by, I found myself in a large group of people. So I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and he was like, yeah, there was like 20 people protesting. I was like, no, bro, it wasn't 20. There was like 220
outside the jail,
outside the remand. Wow. At first I didn't know who it was, and since I don't wear my mask inside my vehicle, they didn't bother me too much. But when I turned around and came back out, I saw all the signs by the remand, and they were protesting this church that has not adhered. So he is currently, I believe, in
the jail.
In the prison.
Okay. Speaking, I'm gonna say this really quick, and then we're gonna go to In Your Ears.
Mhm.
But speaking of protests, there was a white nationalist rally this last week, also.
Oh, wow.
At the
A school, right?
No, what's
Not
that place
school.
called? The legislature.
Okay.
So they went to a whole big thing. There was like a counter protest, and then after a whole bunch of pressure, Jason Kinney came out and was like, "Yeah, racism is bad."
Yes, Jason Kinney actually invited us to a thing he's doing tonight.
Okay. What's his name? Mr. Friend to the show, David Shepard, was on the news denouncing racism in our great city of Edmonton, Alberta. Yeah. So that, for real now, is the end of the scroll.
There you go.
Okay?
Now
We forgot our local bits.
yeah, that's the local scroll. So in my ears, I have been listening to Tiwa Savage's Come Back Again.
Nice.
So
She's a nice default, actually.
it is good, and I've also been listening to Todd Delaney, and so he's a gospel artist and a worshiper, and so I've had both in my ears.
Nice.
Musically, both of these individuals have a phenomenal musicians cast that do so much for so many things.
Yeah.
So it is really good to see them succeed. So it's really, really, really good.
Okay.
What do you got in your ears?
Well, music wise, I am listening to DJ Gel. I listen. I just try not to talk to about DJ Gel all the time, because the other day he was like, "Wow, you really talk about me a lot." So I tried to like ease off on that a little bit. But DJ Gel Soca Takeover 2021
Nice.
is out on the radio. It's not on the radios, but on the SoundClouds and all the things. As you guys know, I'm a super huge DJ Gel fan.
Right.
Other things in my ears, which is a thing that I'm going to do now, is audiobooks, because I can read so much more when I don't have to use my eyes. So I have been listening to Desmond Cole's The Skin We Are In, which is a documenting of racist actions. It's really called A Year in Resistance and Black Power. And it's just documenting a year of his activism. I believe in the year 2018 or 2017. I don't remember which one. But it was it's a really powerful read. It is heavy, but so is this life that we live. He goes ahead and documents everything. He's definitely a journalist, and is very critical of the Canadian news media and their complicits in racism. So if you have a chance to pick it up, if not in book, it's only an 8-hour audiobook. So yeah, check it out.
That is phenomenal.
I want to next audiobook I want to do is Mariah Carey's Life of Mimi. She sings the whole audiobook. Did I tell you this?
Yeah.
She sings 11 hours of it anyway.
I want to hear that.
Yes, I would like to. So that's it. I'm in the audiobook land.
Audiobook land is a good land to be in, because a lot of people like Pastor Rod, that's how they get a lot of content as well. When you're on the go and you're on the hustle and the bustle, sometimes picking up a physical book and putting it in there
challenging.
is challenging. So having an audiobook is great, and you get the
it's
same
great.
content. So it's really good.
And there's nothing like having Desmond Cole himself read his book to you. Like, that's the next level. I'm like, okay. And I was just on the phone with him. Like, when we booked him, I was on the phone with him. If I had read the book first, that would have been a complete trip.
That would have been different. Huh?
Yeah, it would have. But it's cool now.
Well, I know a girl. I know a girl that I currently work with who does audiobooks with Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, nice.
And all the original cast do all the voices.
That's dope. I would like to read audiobooks. So if you are an independent author and you want somebody to read your book, I'll do it for you.
Nice. I am also willing to read your audiobook for you in many different accents and whatever language you want to teach me.
They'll be like, no, can you just don't do the accents. And you'll be like, all right then, so no accent then.
What about the
I'll just talk like this then, no accent, huh?
We're going to put that in the show.
I have to make that face when I talk. I have to talk like this. I have to make the face if I'm talking like this.
You've just offended all of England, by the way. Like, all of the UK is now offended. My auntie's going to be like, why did she do that? This is very embarrassing.
Why did she do this all the time? Hi, Auntie Teresa. When you see this, it's all love.
So that is awesome. So, word?
Yeah, the word. Today's word
is brought to you by the letter
W.
W.
W for word. No, I'm just kidding. But today's word is about your space. And we talk about self-care and rest a lot. So it always feels like every time you're like, Nilo, say something, I'm like, so take care of yourself, right? But today I'm talking about space and self-care. Recently, I've been talking to Sun Michaud and Desmond Cole. And even in the past, I've actually also spoken to Charmaine Nelson about...
Right.
About radical self-care and how caring for this particular body that you are in is an act of revolutionary resistance. So a part of that, caring for this body and this mind that we're in right now, is making sure that you have a space that's conducive to that, making sure your space is reflective either in colorways,
right,
or in just comfort, or even things that you love, pieces of art that stimulate those feelings in you, whether it be creativity or rest or what have you. So so today's word is about being dedicated to your space as a form of self-care and making sure that you have comfortable, beautiful things that you love around you, or a space where you can celebrate yourself.
Great.
We know space is definitely a privilege. So here's to being able to carve out your own space.
Awesome.
Yes. Someone is on who is Spanish, and he says, de que se trata. But that, I think that, I don't know what the
Do we have the translation for that before you say that? Well, thank you, sir, for your comment.
I know like punta, like I know the big ones.
Okay, all right,
everybody.
We're good now.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode 89 of the Black Multiverse Theory podcast. We will see you, as always, next week at 7-ish.
7-ish?
Like this podcast, share this podcast, and join in the conversation. We will see you next week.
See ya.
Good night.